Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sab and this is the Matchy Life YouTube channel. I have an exciting video for you guys. I'm finally taking you through the Matchy studio or warehouse, whatever you want to call it. I still don't really have an exact name because it kind of fits under everything. But it has been exactly 1 year since I moved in, so I thought it was time I give you an updated warehouse tour, and I'm so excited to do so because I don't think I actually did a full tour when it was completely empty. So now that everything is in and I have been working within the year, I'm definitely more equipped to tell you where everything is, what I do and all of that. I love watching these videos. I found them so helpful when I was looking to move into a workshop space, and I hope this video will help you guys if you're thinking about moving into a warehouse space, or you potentially just are nosy or curious how Matchy runs. I'm so excited to take you through everything. At the end of the video, I will also tell you how much this costs me per month to rent, what the leases are like, and just answer a few questions that you guys have had over the last year. Yeah, I'm so excited. Let's just get straight into it. Please excuse the mess. I cleaned up over the weekend to film this video, but of course I've been sewing and you know, who wants to vacuum twice? You know what I mean? So basically the entire space is like one big square, and I've kind of sectioned it all off into different sections. This area over here is kind of like the break section, just where I take a rest, and also where we record the Matchy Chapter Book Club podcast. So if you haven't listened, make sure you tune in. But basically I have the podcasting mics set up nearly 24/7 just so it's all ready to go. And yeah, there's like 2 couches and the bookshelf. This took me a really long time to organize because there is hardly any affordable couches on the market. These couches I thought were at a reasonable price point. I think it was like 300 Australian dollars for both of them, and it was like meant to be one couch. They are so uncomfortable. They are really low. They're basically a Temu couch, but like what you would expect to buy from Temu. But I bought these from a shop called Fantastic Furniture, and it was the biggest waste of money. So I really regret buying them, but because you girls on a budget, I don't really have the budget to sell them and then repurchase something else. But I am looking at upgrading them as soon as I get some spare cash to do so. I also ummed-and-ahed about putting in some walls to like make this a full sectioned room. I figured I didn't really want to commit to like taking up way too much space just when I'm still in the early days of having the studio and not exactly 100% sure what I want to do with it. So I opted to put in some curtains. This just covers up the grey wall, and as you'll see in some of my videos, it just makes things a little bit softer. Everything in the studio has content creation in mind because I film absolutely everything, so things do have to be aesthetic and look good. So I do try and think about that the best that I can, as well as functionality. Staying at the front of the warehouse, we're now directly opposite the podcasting couch area, and this is just my packing station. I have this shelving, it's the Ivan shelving from IKEA, and then I have 2 work desks. These are from Elite Office Furniture. They're 2 white work desks that I use as my packing station. When I was in the garage at home, these was actually my sewing tables, so they're a little bit scuffed and scratched up, but that's fine. They're very heavy duty, very good quality tables, so I definitely wasn't going to be getting rid of them when I moved into the warehouse. And yeah, just have all of my packaging supplies in this area. The idea is to like pick and pack. However, as you guys know, I cannot keep my shelves stocked. Pretty much everything is made to order as the orders come through. So hopefully when I get some pre-made items, that's where it will live. And I'll need to do some like picking box upgrades because those boxes from IKEA just are not it. Moving over to this section of the warehouse, we have the break table. that I just sit and eat my lunch at or do some work when I don't want to sit at my desk. It was a really good idea getting a table because when people come to visit, they obviously need somewhere to sit, and it just adds a homely feel to an otherwise very industrial looking space. So I got this on Facebook Marketplace. I think it was in a previous vlog that I showed you guys. This was one of the first purchases I made. And I also got this piece here of Facebook Marketplace. It's like a vintage old school vanity, and what I have done is just put my embroidery machine on top of it for now. I am always in the mix of not wanting things to look too commercial, too industrial. So I think putting my embroidery machine on something so like cozy and homely like this, it's just a nice touch. Again, for like photos and videos, it looks really nice. It still kind of looks like I'm working at home and you can't really tell that I'm in such a commercial space. And then of course we have the mini kitchenette. It has the bare essentials of what I need. I'm not doing any like upgrades. I just have a space to put my food, a place to make a coffee, heat up my lunch. It's very minimal. Obviously everything's fully functional. There's like hot water, cold water. I have a tea kettle. I just put my bag here. There's like a coffee station for tea and coffee for myself and for anyone visiting. And then this is just like a classic room closet that I put all of my cleaning supplies in. There's not much to it. And then we're going to enter the manufacturing quarters of the warehouse. This is where everything gets made by myself. So I'll take you through it. Basically, this is my work desk. It's a sitting, standing work desk. I got this in like 2020 when we started working from home during COVID. And I just put a cute little picture on the wall because this is where I am most of the time and what I'm looking at. And I just put my laptop on it, and yeah, not much to it. This is just where I do all of my emails and things like that, designing work. This is where all of my prep and cutting takes place. These are just two typical workbenches with chipboard tops, and basically just all of my cutting and prep work is done on these tables. So most of my time is spent standing next to these tables. I then have this racking system just from Bunnings Warehouse, which is just our hardware store in Australia, and it's just like your typical racking system. A lot of people actually use these for their inventory storage, but they're quite deep, which I like. And basically I just put all of my pieces in various stages of production. I do have more of a system than when I first started, which I'm really excited about because I think I have nailed my system just for how it works for me. I also have this cutting machine that you guys would see in some of my videos. I got this actually off Facebook Marketplace as well, from a blind manufacturer. They were just selling it because it's really good at cutting. It's commonly used for cutting like curtains and blinds. But basically this just does my main cut of the fabric. I put the fabric on a bolt up here and then feed it through and then do my cut, which is really helpful. I can't feed the wadding through this, and I have tried, unfortunately. Although it could cut it, it just like smushes it all together. So I still have to cut the wadding with an electric rotary cutter or scissors. And then I guess we have the sewing machine, which is where I sit a lot of the time. Basically, this is my sewing machine area. I have an industrial fan right here to blow air constantly in the heat, which manages the heat really nicely. And then I have two trolleys that carry all of my sewing accessories that I need to just reach for. This is the section I'm in the middle of upgrading. I'm currently looking for two workbenches that are going to sit either side of this sewing machine. So I'll have one workbench there, and that's where all of my accessories will hold. It will also extend the table of the sewing bench a little more to give me way more space. This is one of my biggest frustrations at the moment. I'm just waiting to get these tables in The only issue is like delivery. There is a really expensive delivery on the tables that I definitely want because I want these white ones. But then there's these black ones that I can get locally. So I'm just tossing up between making a decision if I want to go with the black ones or if I want to go and get the ones I actually want, which is the white ones. So I'll let you guys decide what I should do, if I should go black or if I should go white. I personally think I should go white to match like the bench of this. But yeah, all of these little aesthetic decisions I have to make because I create content and I want it to look pretty. But basically when I get the tables in, this machine will be moving up against the wall. So it'll go machine into the racking that I just showed you. And then over in this little corner, we just have my ironing board with my iron. This is just your standard household iron and ironing board setup. Okay, so I've pulled some figures. You'll have to excuse me if I don't know the answer to everything because it was 12 months ago and I can't find the exact paperwork for when the prices all happened. But in order to get into this warehouse, so from looking for the space, finding the space, coming and checking it out and saying, yep, I definitely want to move in, I had to have a security deposit and 2 months rent. At the time, rent was like $1,800 a month. I'm pretty sure when I moved in, it has since gone up because it goes up every 12 months. The security, I can't remember. I just remember pretty much everything at the end of the day costed me $10,000 to move into this space, and that was like distributed across the security deposit, the rent, things like that. That's not including the van hire that I had to hire to move all of my stuff. That was about $300 plus extra fuel to move everything up from Brisbane to the Sunshine Coast. So it was probably between 12 to 14,000 to move into this space, which is the money I had to have in the bank to make this move happen. In order to move into a space like this, you do have to have insurance, and some people ask for a specialty insurance. The only specialty requirement on my insurance was the specific type of glass that needed to be protected. So I needed to make sure my insurance protected me if any breakages of the glass happened. And for insurance right now, I pay $100 per month. My other costing is kind of variable, is electricity. It varies from like $60 to like $110 per month, just depending. So it averages about like $75 per month, I would say. That's like my latest bill. But I pay that monthly, so $75 per month on electricity I have to pay. And then of course rent for the property per month is $2,100, or like $2,180 or something like that. But that is the amount I pay per month to keep this space and just rent this space out. The reason initially I moved into this space, I guess it's just as simple as like not everyone has the privilege and luxury of working from home. Working from home for me came with a whole bunch of issues that when I weighed up the pros and cons, it was just way more against, like, for the pros to move out and get my own studio space. It was causing like tension in my relationship, number one. Number two, I was getting in a really bad mental health space because I wasn't interacting with anyone throughout the day. I basically was like locking myself in the garage and just working and then talking to social media, which I just noticed a really bad decline in my mental health. I was nervous to drive the car. I was nervous to like go out and order food. I was anxious going to the shops. Pretty much in the year that I have moved, my anxiety has completely eliminated. Like, I don't have hardly any social anxiety anymore, which is just so fascinating to me because I had no idea that it came from being so isolated at home. But I was just like a shell of myself working from home, and I thought it was because I was working so much, and it wasn't, because I've always worked a lot throughout my whole like Korea, it was literally because I was working at home and the only person I was seeing was my partner. And because we're in Brisbane, my family are on the Sunshine Coast. The only time my family would see me is if they drove down to my house in Brisbane, and that just wasn't frequently. So I see my family a lot more being on the Sunshine Coast, which I enjoy. And yeah, there is the downside that I have to drive every single day. We were going to move to the Sunshine Coast, but ultimately when we really struggled to find a rental, and then just the state of like the economic situation, we my partner and I are both focusing on building businesses, so we're not focusing on growing our investment property portfolio, so we didn't really want to buy again, not just yet anyway. We're just gonna wait a few years, and I'm still so fine to drive. I've definitely gotten used to the drive. It was quite a tough adjustment at the start, but that's fine. For context, I drive like an hour to an hour and a half, depending on traffic, every single day, back and forth to my studio. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but in my early days of moving into this warehouse, I was completely unsure of myself. I didn't know how things would run. I really have taken this 12 months to really understand my working habits and my way of working and what I enjoy and what works for me, and just kind of eliminating outside noise of what needs to happen, where I should be at and things like that, and just really focusing on Matchy and what Matchy needs. So I have set up this entire space purely based on how I operate as a worker, and I definitely recommend that if you are unsure about like what setup to have. Definitely look at other people's setups for inspiration, but just like spend some time really being aware of how you operate and how you work within your business or within your space, and then just kind of make some mental notes that you kind of want to put into action just based off like what works for you, because not everyone has the same working style, and that's okay. The other question I get is about the walls in this space. Like, I look like I'm in a concrete dungeon, and that's true. I'm in what is called a shell. So when everything is empty, it's called a shell. And basically, for other like commercial properties, you can fit out the shell however you want. So every single commercial building looks like this. The only thing is with my shell is I have to return it to shell when I leave, and I'm not allowed to do too many like cosmetic fit outs without approval. And those approval for the amount of time I'm in here is not worth it. And I don't need cosmetics fit outs. I basically just needed my garage but bigger, and that's what I was looking for. So this is all I need, and I'm happy to return it to shell as is. Like, I can't paint the walls or anything like that, because imagine getting paint off concrete. Like, I don't think you can even do that. So I would have to fix like a veneer wall kind of thing to it, and it's just probably not worth doing it. Maybe I would do it if I was really conscious about like the aesthetics and the look. And I am conscious about it, don't get me wrong, but I think like what I have done is kind of a nice compromise in between like excessively spending my business money versus just having like a nice cute little aesthetic place. But yeah, if you've ever wondered why I haven't like painted the walls or things like that, it's number one, I'm not allowed to without like jumping through a whole bunch of these like approvals, and number two is whatever I put up, I personally have to take down. So it's not up to the next tenant to take it all down, it's up to me, and I don't really want the responsibility of just putting it up. Like, I personally, like, that is a huge waste of money, making this all commercial, and I mean all like aesthetic and amazing, and then just having to rip it down and not even probably being able to reuse it is such a waste of money in my eyes, especially because this is not a shop front. It is purely just for me to work in every day, and everything is so fine as it is. Yeah, I get less comments now that I have the curtain up and I've filled the space out, but at the start when it was really bare, it looked a bit funny. If it was a perfect world and I had absolutely everything my Matchy way, I would really love to rent a commercial space that looks more like these places here, but there's just nowhere around like Brisbane or Queensland that looks like that. There's like very rare buildings and they might have like a specific thing, like they have to be for medical purposes or they have to be boutiques or things like that. So yeah, there's just nothing like that. There is a lot of those spaces in Sydney, which I would love to probably move to Sydney if I had it my way, to like do all of that cute, like if you're watching this and you're randomly from Australia and you know a space like this, definitely send me a DM because I would love to move into like a cutesy Queenslander cottage sewing space because that would just be so cute. I think I've covered everything. If I haven't, definitely let me know in the comments if you have any further questions about my warehouse space, because we are celebrating 1 year of Matchy having its own studio space, which is really exciting. And yeah, I guess I will see you guys in my next video. I am so excited and I hope you have the best week. Bye guys. Also, side note, I'll design some t-shirts. This isn't merch and this isn't like a work shirt. This is purely like I gave the measurements for everything and I've put together a t-shirt. It's really high quality. It's a nice like thick cotton. Because I'm obsessed, I'm never gonna take this off. As a serial outfit repeater, I'm obsessed. All right guys, I hope you have the best week and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.